religious worlds. The foundation of schools of medicine along new lines, whose purpose will be to study the etheric body, its relation to the dense physical body, and its function as the receiver, storer, and transmitter of the vital fluids of the system. The foundation of the new church, which will be no longer along devotional and idealistic lines but which will be an outgrowth of the old idealism, demonstrating through mental forms. It will have for its basis the scientific recognition of the unseen world, and its due appreciation and apprehension, by means of accurate scientific ceremonial. The ceremonial of the universal church being founded on the mental unity of all peoples will not be ceremonial as it is now understood, as it will be the guarded, guided, scientific utilization of sound and color to bring about certain desired ends, such as the aligning of the ego, the influencing of groups, the making of contact with the occult hierarchy, the cooperation with the devas in order to further the constructive ends of evolution, and many other objects which will grow out of the scientific comprehension of the constitution of man, the nature of vibration or radioactivity, and the demonstrated reality of the hitherto metaphysical hypothesis and religious dogma of the unseen world of thought and of spiritual existence. Increased facility in approaching the path. This will be based on the fact that so many of the then existent humanity will have personal knowledge of the ruling powers and forces, will perhaps be on the probationary path, or will be initiates of the first degree. Thus the present skepticism will become non-existent. The dangers then will be along other lines those incident to the very influence of this ray itself. The dangers of crystallization into form so that the true spiritual devotee may become rare, and the scientific aspirant will take his place. The true occultist is a scientist and a devotee, and where these two are not merged, we have the mystic and the man in danger of black magic, being governed by the intellect, and not by selflessness. There are dangers incident also upon contact with the Devi evolution, and the knowledge of the powers and forces made available through their agency. The coming into incarnation of numbers of old magicians and occultists, and the rapid growth therefore of recognized psychic powers among the people. This psychism, being tinged with mentality, and not being of a purely astral quality, will be even more dangerous than in Atlantean days, for back of it will be some degree of will, conscious purpose, and intellectual apprehension, and unless this is paralleled by the growth of spiritual realization, and by the steady grip of the ego upon the lower personality, a period of real danger may ensue. Hence the need of pointing out and of realizing the menace, so that the truth of the inner life and the need of serving the race as an essential to advancement may be proclaimed far and wide. Paralleling the incoming of this large band of seventh-ray magicians, some linked to the Brotherhood, and some to the purely monastic groups, is the proposed advent of certain members of the hierarchy, initiates below the fourth initiation, and of certain disciples and probationers, all on this ray and all true psychics, who hope through their endeavors to offset the vibrations, and ward off the menace incident to the advent of the other group. The arranging of this and the preparing of the way for them in the different countries, especially in Europe and North America, is occupying the attention at this time of the Master R and the Master H. 154 Light on the Path. 52 A group of scientists will come into incarnation on the physical plane during the next 75 years who will be the medium for the revelation of the next three truths concerning electrical phenomena. A formula of truth concerning this aspect of manifestation was prepared by initiates on the fifth ray at the close of the last century, being part of the usual attempt of the hierarchy to promote evolutionary development at the close of every cycle of 100 years. Certain parts, 2/5, of that formula have worked out through the achievements of such men as Edison and those who participate in his type of endeavor, and through the work of those who have dealt with the subject of radium and radioactivity. 3 more parts of the same formula have still to come, and will embody all that it is possible or safe for man to know and the physical plane manifestation of electricity during the 5th suprace. All that we have here considered covers the time till the coming in of the new suprace. This race will summarize and carry to a temporary conclusion the monastic effort of the 5th root race of mental growth, and will cause results of stupendous import. During the 6th suprace, the emphasis will not be so much on the development of mind, as it will be on the utilization of the concrete mind, and its acquired faculty, for the development of the powers of abstract thought. Perhaps too much importance has been attached to the statement of some occult writers, that the 6th suprace will be intuitive. The intuition will be awakening, and will be more prominent than now, but the outstanding characteristic will be the ability of the units of the 6th suprace to think in abstract terms, and to use the abstract mind. Their function will be to perfect, as far as may be in this round, the group and askana. 155 Antakani is the lower manas, the path of communication between the personality and the higher manas, or human soul. H. P. Blavatsky. 53 or the link between the mental and the buddhic. This bridge will be of a usable nature during the 6th root race, in which the intuition will show real and general signs of existing. In this root race, units only show signs here and there of real intuition, having built the necessary bridge in their individual selves. In the 6th root race, small groups will be intuitive. It is needless to say more here and the influence of the 7th ray upon the sons of men. More later may be available, but enough has been suggested to form the basis of useful speculation. B. Animals and human beings and the race. We will now take up 2 points, and study the effect of the incoming force on the human and animal kingdoms. These points are of profound interest to the occult student for 2 reasons. The topic we have now to consider is the effect of the incoming 7th ray during the coming centuries upon the animal kingdom and the Deva evolution. The profundity of the interest lies in the fact that in the one case we are dealing with the evolution immediately behind the human, and from which man is not as yet wholly emancipated, and in the other we are concerning ourselves with the paralleling evolution, and one that is of vast importance in the scheme of things. Let us take up first the 7th ray and its effect upon the animal kingdom. Practically little is known to man concerning this kingdom of nature, save what science has vouchsafed and the physical organisms, and a few occult statements which have been given out at various times. The development of the animal consciousness, and its immediate future, is as yet but little understood. The most important of the occult facts concerning this 3rd kingdom as they relate to our present subject, may be enumerated as follows. 1. The animal kingdom holds the same relation to the human kingdom as the dense physical body does to the 7 principles, and still finds its connecting link with man through the close correspondence between their bodies of objectivity. 2. The animal kingdom is the 3rd of the kingdoms and is, from the esoteric point of view, and as regards its relation to mankind, the mother aspect, prior to the overshadowing by the Holy Spirit, the manas aspect. Think out this resemblance, and trace the analogy between the cosmic mother, the systemic mother, and the same mother aspect as seen in the animal kingdom as a basis for the evolution of man. Each of the kingdoms of nature acts as the mother to the succeeding one in the evolutionary process. Any group, which may be under consideration, should in due course of evolution give birth to offspring, who will in themselves embody some ideal, and who receive their objective forms on some plane from the earlier group. From the 3rd kingdom springs the 4th, and from this 4th will emerge the 5th, each receiving a germ protection, b. form, c. gradual development, d. nourishment, until in each case the human child, or the Christ child, is brought to the birth. This is a very occult truth, and though the facts have been recognized and taught and the fourth and fifth kingdoms, the work and place of the animal has not received its due recognition. 3. During the third root race, animal individualization took place, and the self-conscious unit, called man, came into being. I have somewhat dealt with the question of individualization elsewhere, and seek not here to enlarge upon it. I would only point out a correspondence that holds here the key to the mystery of individualization. In this chain, individualization took place during the third root race and in the fourth round, speaking in this connection of a round through a chain of globes, and not the life force of a planetary logo circulating through the 7 chains in a scheme. It is of peculiar interest at this time that we are in the fourth round in the chain, as well as in the fourth round, as regards the scheme of 7 chains. It has led to evolutionary possibilities of great import. On the moon chain, individualization took place during the 5th race of the third round, and in the next chain to ours on the evolutionary arc, individualization will take place during the 6th race of the second round. In each case this refers to a planetary round through a chain of globes. 4. In the fourth root race, the door, as it is called, between the 2 kingdoms became closed, and no more of the animal kingdom passed into the human. Their cycle temporarily ended, and to express it in terms of fire, or of electrical phenomena, the animal kingdom and the human became positive to each other, and repulsion instead of attraction supervened. All this was brought about by the swinging into power of a profoundly long cycle of the 5th ray. This was necessitated by the need of man to develop along the monasic line, and resulted in a period of repulsion of the animal units, leaving their consciousness to be stimulated on astral lines. Owing to this repulsion, we have one reason, and one of the least fundamental, for the destructive war and the long cycle of cruelty that has been waged between man and the animals. It can be evidenced in the terror of man in connection with wild animals of the jungles and the deserts, and in the terrible toll of life that such animals have exacted during the centuries. This must not be forgotten. For thousands of years, wild animals have, specially before the coming in of firearms, destroyed the defenseless, and during those years, had statistics been taken, the numbers of human beings killed would reach a stupendous figure. Now, in this age, the balancing is taking place, and in the slaughter of animals equilibrium is being reached. I do not refer to the wanton cruelties practiced under the name of science, nor to certain practices which take place under religious guise in different lands. The source of these enormities must be sought for elsewhere. It is hidden in the karma of that being, who for a period during the moon chain held office as the entity who is the informing evolutionary life of the animal kingdom. This is a point of view needing careful pondering. Each of the kingdoms of nature is the expression of a life or being. Man, for instance, being the expression of one or other of the heavenly men. The sum total of humanity, the fourth hierarchy, being found, with the Deva evolution, as the centers of the solar logos. The animal kingdom likewise is the expression of the life of a being who is a part of the body of the logos,